Okay, let's do that again. Say your name and your position at Bluewater.
My name is James Meadows, and I am an instructor at Bluewater Maritime School.
Okay. And that is still on. Okay. So when did you first start teaching?
I would guess, I really don't. It's 2006, maybe 2007. I don't know the exact number. It's just that once I started, I just enclosed myself in it. I just 15 years, 16 years, 14 years. I'm not sure. Time passed fast when you're enjoying it. But,
Okay, sorry, we're gonna start that over. So if you could, when I ask the question, just repeat the question. So like I first started teaching around, you know what I'm saying?
I first started teaching part-time. Captain Jim Sykes was at Sea School, and he was assisting the owner here as well, Mr. Butch Branson. And he asked me to come in and teach an AB course, which I had a job. I was working on Maypoint Naval Station, and it was at night. And I said, sure, why not? So I came in and started doing night classes for him, 4 hours a night. And it sort of grew from there. I always use the term my spirit. The more I came, the more days that I taught, the more nights that I taught, the more involved that I got in the school. I just saw a need. And the people that we had as students then, I just saw a need, and I followed my spirit. And I resigned from the job that I had. Then I came and asked Mr. Branson for a job. And he gave it to me. And we just went from there. It was a love situation. I enjoy, still do, doing what I do here at Bluewater. And the students seem to get a reward from it. So, and I have a great backup system, my wife. So I don't have outside pressures. I've always just focused on the school. And it's been mostly good, great. I love it. I wouldn't, go ahead.
So then kind of just talk about your background before you started teaching and what you did before or when you were in the Navy and things like that.
Well, when I went in the Navy in the 50s, and I didn't have many choices. I could either be the engine black gang, they call it, or steward department where you shine shoes and people and cook. And neither of that, it didn't interest me. And I managed to get myself transferred to Japan, where I started working with underwater demolition team and with the Seabees, who were, this was in 1955, and the Seabees who were rebuilding the occupied Japan. And it just went from there. My career changed. I worked for the Army while I was in the Navy on 3 occasions. So it's just been wonderful. I worked with all the branches of service in Vietnam. For the years that I spent there, I was with a group called MACV. It was a combination of Navy and Army people. Army was in charge. But my background, my training allowed me to fit into one of these groups, and one of the best experiences I ever had, where it's friendship, loyalty, trust. That's enough on that. It really turned my life around. Mhm.
So how has your experiences in the Navy helped you teach now?
Well, first of all, I learned patience and respect at home. Sometimes it didn't always work. But I learned that from my dad. And when I went in the Navy, my ability to be quiet, to listen, just to do, and never look at things as always as a challenge. It's just something to be done. And that helped me in school. And boot camp, it helped me to be the assistant recruit guy in charge. Back then, they couldn't make a black guy in charge. I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, and I took that discipline, and that's what got me through. Just being disciplined, tenacity, stick to it. I never took a job or someone gave me something to do. I was going to figure out how to get it done. And in most cases, I hope I'm not messing up.
No, it's okay. You can go
I
ahead.
did.
We can do it over. That's fine.
I don't know.
It's
Did I
okay.
mess it up?
No, it's okay. We can say it again.
But my training came from home, basically, and it was built on a Navy chief in boot camp who saw something in me, and he helped me, even later years, Chief Moore, to do things. And I found that to be true in other things, even though the situations in some cases were bad, but there was always a mentor out there watching me and taught. And I learned so many different things that culminated when I went to Military Sea Lift Command. I worked in, I was sent by the government, by the Army, to Machinado and Naha, Okinawa, and to expedite materials. They sent me to hand-to-hand combat school, they sent me to language school at the Army. Then I was back with the Navy on a communication ship, the USS, I can't think, it had a 3-star admiral on it. It was a communication ship. And from there, I got out for about a month or so. But my heart wasn't in flipping hamburgers. And they welcomed me right back. And from there, I can't explain it. I wasn't, say, working in a rate, Eptolant, Eptopac. Eptolant was like a Bupers. Eptopac was like the Bupers for the West Coast. So my detailers, I could drive over to the base, talk to my detailer to get things done. And I stayed with the underwater demolition and the CBs for years. And it helped me when I got in Vietnam because I was a Cumshaw artist. You wouldn't understand that. If they needed it, I'd go find it and bring it back. I was a Cumshaw artist. That's the only name that you could put. And I built a network of protection around me, people who trusted me. And in fact, I got left in Vietnam. The whole company left. It left me to train some people in a new unit that had come. And then they remembered, oops, Where's James? So it's funny, but the Navy was all right. You had your built-in enemies who tried to pull you down when you wanted to go up. But all of this came to fruition when MSC recruited me. All the training, the things, the professionalism, and all. I got out October December the 4th, no, October the 18th, 1974. I retired and enrolled in Allen University in Columbia, South Carolina, and it was just a few months later, Military SEALIP Command recruited me. They were making a transition between civilians and all. And it just, everything that I had learned, the leadership, the how-to, the discipline, stick to it, everything just came into play. And I learned it all in the Navy, but I didn't know I had learned it all until I was put in that position. And it was good. And on board the ship, I would teach people at night on our time, not the company's time, not tying, whatever they needed to know, good seamanship. If you wanted to learn on your time and my time, I had classes every night when I was on ship, teaching them something. I grew up with old folks who believed, old sailors, the more everybody knows, the safer the ship is. It wasn't personal. I don't have to like you. But the more I can put into you, the safer all of us are. I still live with that. The more everybody knows on the ship, the safer that ship is going to be. And like here in the school, same principle. The more everybody does that part, don't worry about the other person's part. Just you do your part. He does his. Assist him if he needed. Help him if he needed. Don't complain. But when it all comes together, it's a win-win situation. Ding, ding.
So, for you, what's the best part about your job?
For me, what?
What's the best part about your job?
Here,
Mm-hmm.
people. Sometimes in the past, not as much now as it was, but knowing you're helping someone, seeing young men, young women, low self-esteem, and lost, and want to do better, but they don't know what they want. And being just a part of turning their thinking around, that there is a way, there is a better way. It's the people that can make you feel so good when I'm alone and I go in my prayer closet and pray before I leave. I just call out people, thank you. Help me work on this one, Lord. But I think that we all need help. We all need to stick together. Stop fighting against each other. There's so many kids out there that are lost, completely lost. They never, we gave a guy a hug when he passed a test on Main Street. And we were hugging on it, he started crying. And that tore my heart. I didn't realize what some people are going through. He never had that type of love thrown on him, the whole class. He'd never had it. And I never seen that type of reaction. So you can't buy that stuff. That comes once, and you gotta hang on to it and keep. And one young lady, I won't call her name, not very long ago, and second night, I believe it was, we had a couple of unrulies, but that wasn't the reason. She just stopped and said, Mr. James, we need prayer. and that was it. We stopped, and the whole class, and we had prayer. Somehow it affected almost everybody in that class. By her doing that, it changed things. It made people a little more cognizant of the other person and all. I've had great experiences here. I can't talk about all of them. Yes. And I wouldn't think of going anyplace else. I was in my late 70s. People were still trying to get me to go on a job to teach in Louisiana and South Carolina. I hang up. I don't even want to focus on it. Money doesn't interest me in that. God takes care of me, and that's for sure. He takes care of me, my family, and all that, so I don't want to talk money to you. I don't want to get to thinking dollar signs, because I lose this, I lose a part of myself. This is part of me. This is it. I am Bluewater. I am part of Bluewater. I'm one of the little pieces of the puzzle that you put. That's right, first thing Monday morning, I'll be right. What else?
Okay, so can you kind of explain about the nonprofit and the grant that they're doing in your name?
Well, originally, I wasn't that much involved on the money in Harvest Pass. I was involved with the recommendations of people who needed a grant. But I removed myself from that decision because, well, first of all, I knew someone had a grant and they were the worst person in the class, and I had a bad attitude toward them. That don't work. But if I knew of something at one time, I could take it to the bosses to say, you know, this and this kid's having a problem, and I've been talking to them, and they're going to fail, they're going to fall out, we may be able to help them, something like that. And I let the school take care of it. I would make that decision. But I think the grant program is one of the, I've seen it work. I've seen this school get rewarded from giving grants. I've seen people come back, bring people back, send people back, come pay for people when we were on Main Street. I've seen the reward of you do something not to get something back, you do it because the person needs help. And then all of a sudden, God's got a big shovel, shoveling all kind of blessings on you. I know that I really believe in that grant, helping the ones who are in need. You have to discern, you have to, back then you didn't have to. When people are catching the bus at 4 in the morning, riding bicycles in the rain, walking, you didn't have to look around to see if who was right or wrong. You can look right there, that they were. We had a guy called Noodles. That's all he ate was ramen noodles. Stopped the sink up with his noodles. Mr. Branson, Butch Branson, didn't ask me or anyone else. He called him in himself and talked. And between he and Gina, he paid, he gave him a grant for the money. Fast forward, 4 years later, he's married, living in Houston, Third Mate Unlimited, and he sent people back, but for them not to tell him that he sent them. Come on. He's getting people here. His thing is, just go to class, and here's the money. It don't get no better than that. Yeah. And another thing, working working with good people, people that the management staff here, I think is excellent, is going back to what it once was, I do believe. Before, the school was like, not that we were the smartest, but the 2 or 3 instructors that we had. You had a problem, you take the problem and the solution to the problem, to whoever you had to take it to, and you got it worked out. I think we're getting back to that now. Too many layers of egos. We're a school, we teach people. We should have one person up there to answer all of the questions. So anything that comes, they go there. It's not he said, she said, they said, that. It comes from one voice. And when you all respect that voice, man, it is cool. It's so nice. And I see us getting back there. We're getting back there where we have central control of everything. And it's paying off. It's paying off. Not from what I see, but from what the students tell you. That's the proof of the pudding is in the eating. You got to eat the pudding to find out how good it is. Well, when the students come back and say some of the things that they do, I know it's working. Okay.
Is there any other questions? I think that's good.
There's a
Anything
lot
else you wanna
more
say?
that could be said for Bluewater. Bluewater has helped a lot of folks. Everybody is not for college. College is not for everybody. We know that. But Bluewater is a place where, without even a high school education, you can start building a future. And if you got the right people in the right places who willingly help others to help themselves, you don't love them, you like, you want to beat him side his head, son, but you help them to move. Boy, it don't get no better than that. I'm telling you, it doesn't. A student called me 3 o'clock in the morning in Hawaii. He didn't know how to do a 6-strand. His captain wanted to and he couldn't. I got up and said, okay, get your stuff out. I told him what to do. A minute later, I hear my wife. And she's got a cup of coffee, sitting it in front of me, went back to bed. That's my support system. Ain't nobody complaining or nothing. He fixed me a cup, went on back to bed. And I sat there about an hour and a half and took him through the steps. He thanked me, the other guy thanked me and all. When it was over, I felt pretty good. This guy thought of me. Out of all the people, he thought that I would be the one to show him how to do, to teach him how to do it, and I didn't mind. Plus the support system, my wife, she used to spend more time over here than I did. I won't go there. She's mentored a lot of young ladies that came here with, especially with low self-esteem. We've taken them to church and everything years ago and saw the results of it. Okay.
Anything else?
I quit.
All right, thank you.
That's it.
That was good.